Yo, what's up, everybody? Almost in full color crew is back, and we're talking about Destiny 2. I told you we back. Like, this is gonna happen. I got some of the best Guardians around. We got Terry, T the
Hi.
best. We got B, you all
What's
remember
up?
B, and making a special guest appearance on this Destiny podcast is none other than Gaines, also known as Plucka Plucka. Gentlemen, how are you doing this on this nice afternoon?
Were you about to say morning?
Nutang is still
Almost.
swinging, baby.
I,
Brother
All
Gaines from the
right.
class.
This is what Plucker provides.
So, a lot's been going down with Destiny. A lot of news has come out, and Luke Smith went and put out another director's cut. Put out a very long-winded one last year. This one not as long-winded, but still has some good information. So we've all kind of gone over the director's cut, and I just wanted to touch on a few points and see how everyone feels about these few points. So the first point was Luke Smith felt like there wasn't enough evolving world. That I'm guessing that what we saw with the Dreaming City and how all that was, there's been less of that in Destiny, and that they wanted to have more of that go down. Do you all feel like that's kind of like attention in the wrong direction?
I don't know. I mean, it's needed if they want to continually evolve the world like they said they were going to once this expansion dropped. I mean, then they should probably stick to what they said. But it's Bungie, and they don't know what that means.
I mean, I would like for if they're gonna do like this evolving thing, I would hope it means mostly evolving through the storyline, like in a linear fashion, which means like if we're gonna talk about one aspect of the story, let's at least see that through for about 95% of it, because I feel like they just jump all over the place. And halftime I get lost in the story. I would like for them just to, if they're gonna evolve something, at least stick with the whole sundial thing. Also, I've spent a lot of fractal things, so I want something for that.
Destiny has a story. When?
That's what I
think
mean.
no, it definitely has a story. I mean, I have the lore book, so I understand it, but I also get your point because they make it convoluted as they spread things throughout the season. If they just stuck to the line after the Dreaming City and made it somewhat similar to what the Saint 14, like how they showed different cutscenes for every aspect of you going forward in the sundial. I loved that, but I feel like it wasn't big picture enough because it was only seasonal. I'd like for there to be a bigger focus on something that has a grand scale. So I love the little side projects, but they kind of feel like exactly what they are, DLC. I just like the main story to be fleshed out a little bit better. So as far that's how I feel about the Evolving World.
Yeah, like you said with the seasons, my fear is that well, I know B play well, all of us play DC. Y'all all know how DC did their season content to where if it came out in April, you probably wouldn't see part two until like next year. And they would just do like part ones of a lot of other seasons until they come back around to do part two of that season. Then they do part two, part two, part two, then come back around. And by the time you get back around to it, you really forgot like where you left off.
I think that's them trying to get you to play the old stuff again to get a refresher.
Don't mind the evolving world, but I really hope that they stick with a cutscene storyline and go with it. Like we got Aldrin waking up and haven't seen Aldrin since, and
Yeah.
probably to the point that when we see him, it's gonna be like, oh right, yeah. I felt like if it happened right when Cade died, it would have got like more of a reaction from the players, as in like, yo, fuck's this dude doing here? But now it's probably such a damn distant memory. It's probably not gonna have any type of impact on players. I mean, now we got this Rasputin Osiris thing, and Lord knows when we'll see, what's to come of that. I would actually really prefer them to take the cutscenes that we got, like the Drifter with the shadow coming at him, trying to kill him or whatever. Like, I really wish that they would really just dial it up in terms of finishing off those cutscenes and letting us know why this random cutscene just appeared on this day.
I think everything just is eventually going to lead up to D3. Like all these things coming to a complete culmination, which would be dope. But at the same time, it's like, nah, you guys took too long. Like this is it's been way too long in the making. But that would be a pretty like if all the storyline came to one cohesive point where like right before D3 touches off, it's like, oh, I can't believe the Drifter and the Traveler and, the Nine and all this stuff. It was all focal point on the plot. That would be crazy.
Let's see if we even get deep. You would think they would, but
Well, out of the four of us, who do you think, so Terry, you don't think we're going to get D3?
anytime soon.
But do you think that we're going to get it?
Maybe in a year and a half, maybe more than that.
Okay.
I'll say 2022.
Yeah.
Okay, do you think we're going to get it?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a Destiny 3. I feel like we're going to get, probably about 4, maybe 3 to 4 more DLCs. Hopefully nice size DLCs before D3 comes down the pipeline. I feel like maybe they just want to kind of get their hands on the new consoles and stuff, and probably get like a real good understanding of
how to build
for them to get like the most out of them. Because the last thing you want to do is drop D3 early and you're still kind of learning the ins and outs, and you don't really get to take advantage of what those.
I think that would be the best route forward too. So 2022, all in consensus. Yeah,
that wouldn't be a bad timeline.
As long as they can keep putting out content, fine. If they run into an issue where they can't put nothing out into the D3, then nobody's gonna care.
Yeah,
I still come back
on D1 before D2 came out. It kind of had like a period of not really much going on.
Yeah, and then they gave us back all the old raids, and then I came back. I had to get that.
Yeah, because they were supposed to put it out a year before, but then they pushed it back. And then that's when we got Rise of Iron, because they had to push it back. So they were like, yo, we have to give them something. And then we didn't have anything again for like another year after that.
So the other really big point in this director's cut was that legendary weapons will have an infusible lifespan. So they're saying pretty much all legendary weapons will have a cap, and that cap will be there for about 9 to 15. It'll have like a 9 to 15 month shelf life on there. How do you all feel about legendary weapons having that hard cap on there of how high the light can go?
Yeah, I'll just go grab the reskinned version of it. I'll be okay.
So the reskin version negates the cap, or
no? I'm just saying all their models are the same. If you look at the Devil's,
when you said the reskinned, I thought you were talking about like how they do it now, where you can purchase the ones and it changes the color and changes the name of it. I thought maybe if you did that, it maybe reset the cap or something like that. But that's pretty stupid though.
What is it? It's the Devil's. It's a hand cannon. It's a hand cannon. The Crucible hand cannon. That's just the Rose reskinned. Same thing. It's just a different hand cannon now. I don't care if they want to start doing this. Then they're gonna start treating it like an RPG, like they want to, or MMO. As you get stronger, your guns start to get weaker, and you should get new guns. But we really haven't seen any new guns. But we got like a new name shotgun.
I feel like they shouldn't make the weapons, I guess, die out. Like if I want to keep infusing to keep it, up to snuff with everything else, then I should be able to do that, especially with exotics.
Same exact thing has happened before. This is not the first time.
It's just legendaries.
Oh, okay. I thought you said exotics. My fault.
But even still, what the problem that they're running into is they can't think of too many more creative things to do, and also give those same similar perks to the legendary gun.
That's what I was gonna say.
So they're like
definitely hit it on the head.
And then they have the ritual weapons, because the pinnacle weapons, they were like, holy crap, we can't keep giving them all these dope things, because then not only do we have the power creep, but we have running out of do. So I understand why, but I'm still on the side of gains. I don't want them to take the weapons away, because it's like I worked hard to get this. This gun has 2,500 kills. I have other guns that have 14,000, et cetera, et cetera. I know I have, you know what I mean? These guns have an identity with. But if we take that away and I can't utilize it anymore, it's like, why do we have archives? Why do we have collections? Why do we have the vault? Yeah, why do we have collections? Why do we have any of this stuff? Just to say that we had it, it doesn't matter to me. I actually want it to be viable, so I like to be able to cycle through the weapons whenever they're like, oh, these ones have too much of a power creep. Let's dial these back. Let's put these forward. Let's try to adjust and get to a pretty good place. I like that cycle, but I don't like them nerfing stuff. I wish it was just like a tiny buff here, a tiny buff there.
Yeah, I actually really hope that the ritual weapons and the weapons you had to really work to get, your mountaintops, your recluses, your breaknecks, and so on and so forth, don't really get hurt by this, mainly because of the time necessary to get that. Because if the gun is just gonna die out, for me, it's like I don't really feel like putting forth the effort and getting it if it's gonna be. Now, granted, Crucible and all that, you won't take a hit. Well, at least standard Crucible, Iron Banner, and Trials, yes, they will take a hit if they're not a proper light level. If like Edge Transit, gets like thrown out, I'm fine with that.
You don't have enough of those yet?
Or what's the other one? The lone what's that sidearm?
No, the fucking minimum distance.
Fuck
that.
I got so many of them.
I think you need more. I'll say I don't necessarily care. I mean, if they want to start phasing stuff out, let them phase it out. If they want to bring in new stuff for it, then by all means do it. But I think they're going to start running into the same issue with D1 where they ran into the memory issue. That's probably why we don't see anything super new right now.
It might be pushing. Hopefully all this stuff can be addressed. Put out the new game with
could be the limit of the console, to be honest. I mean, they might just be running into that memory issue like they did the first time.
Goddamn clouds. Tell them, games, we need the fucking clouds.
No, my fear is that it's kind of what B was saying. They're probably running out of ideas, so they're like going to use some of what Terry was saying. Retire the guns, and then maybe like a year down the line, bring out a new gun, but it's just the same gun with a different name, different design, same perks, and then kind of hope you forget that gun did exist before.
They should just update it and bring them back in cycle. This one was crap for whatever reason. Now it's back and better. Like you can give story aspects to make it why you can't use weapons. Like, oh, the old technology is insufficient against the Vex or something like that, and you have to use new guns. You know what I mean?
Introduce the darkness and make us dark, and then be like, you can't use the weapons because they
were light infused. Yeah,
now we're on the dark side. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, there's two. We just thought of two ideas. That was off the top of the head. Like, these guys are getting paid thousands of dollars. They should be able to do this.
Yo, I want to get corrupted, and we got a raid in the tower, and we're fighting like Shaqs and them in the raid. That'd be hot.
It would be. I really want. I want no smoke with Shaqs.
No, I mean because of the gambit. Like we had to side with the Drifter or with the Vanguard. Like if you sided with the Drifter, maybe that could be something.
I fuck the Drifter.
You get. You didn't side with the Drifter, B?
Nah, I mean one of my did, but the majority of us we don't fuck with that savage.
I'm pretty sure I sided with him on all my stuff. I was like, screw it.
Good job, Terry.
I mean, why not? He sounded more enticing than the other people.
I guess it's just me and you, Keith. It's just me and you. These bulls is out here trying to kill us.
I mean, he sounded more enticing than Zavala did.
But moving on from there, another part of this director's cut, this is probably the most concerning part for me. I'll actually read off word for word verbatim what it says. It says, this year's version of Seasons has too much FOMO in them. We want to fix this, and next year's season will have less. Because we aren't spending our development resources and time as well as we could, we're talking about moving away from creating spoken or season bespoken private activities, and instead using that time and effort to build themes that aren't just represented by a marquee event that will fade away, but rather inject these seasonal themes into more of the game. Like we continue to evolve the world's narrative, we could invest more into the evolving world of our public spaces and take further efforts to evolve Destiny 2 core activities. When they speak about core activities, they're talking about Crucible, Strikes, Nightfalls, and that type of thing. So pretty much what I got from that was, and here's like the part that I have an issue with, when he talks about the season has too much fear of missing out. Now this season was all about the sundial. Now the sundial will go away. But it was kind of like, well, we kind of like paid for the event and all that came with it. So for it to go away doesn't bother me so much. But it's like, oh, well, people who come in and buy the next season won't get access to the sundial. And it's like, well, yeah, they didn't pay for that season, so they wouldn't. And that's the part that's really like weird. I guess people are just saying like, oh, you know, they're missing out on some of the Destiny activities, but it's like, well, if you didn't pay, then yes, you're gonna miss out. And now I guess they're planning on not having anything Sundial-ish. That's how I kind of read it. But
Yeah.
instead, and they're just gonna invest it in the Crucible and Gambit strikes and Nightfalls and whatever. I like these little events. It kind of makes me feel like my money was well spent. But I don't know, maybe that's just a me thing. I'll let someone else take it from here.
From a consumer standpoint, nah. I mean, of course you're gonna miss out on stuff. It sucks, but it is what it is. I'm guessing from a developer standpoint, they want to make sure that anybody new that comes in doesn't miss out on it. You got to get money, right? So why would you not do it?
Well, I can take it from two different standpoints. From the producer of the company, why would you invest all this money and effort into something that's just going to go away after one season? That's one aspect. Another one is, again, that fear of missing out. People aren't going to be able to participate in the sundial, so they lose out. And then you also got, like, from what I got from the director's cut, is he's saying that they want to invest more stuff into, I think they used Imago Loop or something like that. Like, if you're going through strikes, you're going to be able to get weapons and different things of that nature that are more catered to whatever the season has. So you might be able to get a gun that has a different role, but it's catered to the perks of that season, things of that nature. So I think that'll be cool, and especially with Trials back, there's more to expect in terms of you getting guns and things of that nature from the Crucible that'll reflect upon that. So it's a double-edged sword. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, you and Terry pretty much covered that one pretty good. I can't think of anything else to add to it, honestly.
I hate
it. Because you, like you said, you wish that they invest our money. And I do like the Sundial. I played a good bit of it. Not everything. I think I did finish every legendary activity. I still haven't done a legendary menagerie, but I'll try and get to that at some point today.
And that's kind of like the weird part. It's like, oh, we put so much into Sundial, and that's like, that's just a remix version of Menagerie. I'm pretty sure you had a nice base template. You just, copied it over and made it more Vex
theme.
Well, no, it was like Vex and Cabal in a Menagerie, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's like,
yep.
You just kind of just, took that template and then rocked it over into going back in time and made the objectives a little different. But all in all, I like the Menagerie a lot. I like Sundial a lot. I kind of like that archetype. And the only fear of missing out part I really understood was the Corridors of Time. What was it, up for like a week or 2 weeks?
I didn't participate in it at all.
I forget, but that I could understand if it was like, because they had so many lore tabs and emblems in there. So it was kind of like, if you weren't on in this 10-day time frame, you couldn't get it. And I can understand that part. It's like, yeah, you kind of locked a lot of stuff behind this activity that was only available for a limited amount of time. So I do understand that point. And
I'm not into it either.
That brings us into the final, like, weirdest, funniest, but I'm happy about it thing, which is the announcement of Trials. So I think it's really smooth how they kind of introduce Trials, with us donating the fractaline to rebuild the Empyrean cartel or whatever it was called.
Empyrean Foundation.
The cartel.
So we did all that. We donated and it brought it back. We went back to the lighthouse. It was restored, and now Trials is back. So I think that was a really, really smooth way to get Trials back. But it's also super funny because, like, the Trials population in D1 was like not really all that great. In D2 it was worse. So it's kind of like quite funny that people are so like happy and excited when this was a game mode that people really didn't like because of how sweaty it was.
Well, I think the reason I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's what I was gonna just say. But I mean, maybe someone else has a different takeaway of why it's such. Well, I know why a lot of some people are happy about it, but the majority, I'm like, you guys hate Trials. I don't get it. Are you all happy that Trials is back?
I'm happy it's back, but I think the reason why a lot of people are happy is because there's no PvP endgame. Like, there's nothing for PvP players to chase after. Now, I know this game is primarily like a PvE kind of game or whatever. Like, that's fine. It makes sense. But when you also have a PvP aspect, you also have to make sure you put something for them. And they haven't had anything since the beginning of this game, actually. Because competitive sucks. It's terrible. And then it's more so of a PC standpoint than a console standpoint, too. Because, of course, on PC, I think a lot of people are happy, but they're also very scared because it's heavily hacked right now. Everything about it is hacked, and Bungie has done nothing.
You mean like aimbots and stuff?
Oh, aimbots, people having God mode activated, teleporting, and there's another one too. But it's really bad on PC right now, and it's very odd that they want to do that right now, like introduce trials without having anything to combat that, and they have not shown anything of making sure that is not going to problem, but it is. Even with you have to do something before you can play trials, people are still gonna get in.
I don't know about all that stuff on PC. I'm
we're
a gamer like that. Yeah, we peasant folk. We're not in the clouds. We don't got all this expert technology.
Hey, I would just like to point out that you don't have to worry about aimbots in the cloud. You can't run that type of stuff.
Listen, we all know that it's superior. We all know it's superior to be up there.
We don't like to say the word superior, B. We like to say
elevated.
Efficient.
Elevated. Is that what you like to say? All right. So anyway, like I think that it's a different dynamic and a different time. One of the reasons why it became so popular is because Twitch was just getting into the full I guess like ramp up of things, so it definitely helped to elevate it, and then it just became the pinnacle for the weekend, giving people something to do besides just going to raid. So I think you combine that with all the weapon changes that they're doing, all the new people that they're doing, since it's a free to play game, it changes the dynamics of everything going in. You're going to get a lot more people that are participating, in my opinion, and then like it'll streamline it down the line, and then you'll see other people trying to get better by viewing the people who are already playing. And I think because it has a bigger market, it'll change how good it was in the first place, and especially since it's 3v3 elimination and not that 4v4 team shooting bullshit basically that they had in the beginning. Like, I think it'll be successful, but it'll take time. Like over the course of 3 months, I think you'll see it really start to bloom. But we'll see.
I look at it like I'm happy it's coming back, but I feel like most people are probably excited it's coming back because it's always getting to the lighthouse has been like a status type symbol for the PvP side. It's kind of like how I guess how they wanted doing the Nightfall to be on PvE, where you get the little halo thing. You're like, oh, they did the Nightfall, but nobody gives a shit about that. So and you get the emblem that says you've been to the lighthouse. Like people automatically think that, oh, this dude's good. Even if you just got carried. Especially if you're trying to get in another group to play trials. Like if you already have the lighthouse emblem, like you're going to probably get in. But
and the light, I forgot the armor and the weapons too. That's like the main reason people play, and it's back to the good stuff. I was hoping for the cat man, but we'll see maybe next season.
For as well.
I hope that they actually changed it in one way, which I know they're not, but it's just kind of a pet peeve on my side. Is I don't want to be fucking running into mountaintops and all this shit all the time. Like I would rather.
Hopefully, the bigger player base will solve that issue, but
I feel like they should make it balanced in a way that you get a certain loadout pretty much each round, and everyone gets that loadout. Like that way, it's all skill based, and it's not like I'm losing basically because this guy has a Jotun or a fucking mountaintop or all these.
That would be cool if they had designated loadouts that you could participate. Like, every weekend they go
or sniper or scout rifle, and it makes you be more well rounded.
That's dope. That's an amazing.
Be pissed and be like, oh, I'm not playing this weekend because it's shoddy snipes for a Halo reference. But I feel like it would make the player base better because it will force you out of your comfort zone.
I hope that the weapons that they would give would have some sort of significance. Like you said, if it was a shoddy sniper weekend, got a shoddy or a sniper, like it would have like a glow or something that showed that you got it on the specific weekend that it was featured. You know what I'm saying? Just to let people know, like, yeah, I participated. But that goes back to that to that FOMO, that fear of missing out. But I think
True.
it gives a pretty good motivator to get people to participate in it. So you can be like, yeah, I was there that weekend.
Well, you
Like,
do know
oh
I'm saying
shit,
that
where
they
you
lock
get
your
that?
loadouts to that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know you have some of the guns I referenced, so that's why I was like, make sure you understood what I was saying, so you didn't back it, not knowing.
No. I
exactly
get what you're
what I
saying.
was
Like
pushing.
that's the only guns that you can use for that week, or sorry, weekend, are the ones that they designate, whether it be handgun, shotty, sniper, or something like that. But then for that weekend, if you got any one of those guns featured, maybe it would have a glow, or you got a different skin for it, or it was like all black with like a, what I'm saying, whatever it is that you want it to be, but it would be different to let people know that you participated in that particular loadout that weekend.
Can new light players get max light?
New
Yeah.
light? No.
No, they can't.
No.
Why not?
They don't have access to everything.
Oh, fair enough.
So
I think they can only get up to
ultra
like
fit. What can you even solo queue for? Well, I don't know if they're gonna allow solo queuing for trials or have
Probably
like a
not.
freelance mode.
No, it's gonna be the same trials as before, where
You
you have
need-
to have a
you need
ticket
three.
and you have to have 3.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, that's a good thing then, because I saw this will also be available to pretty much free players. Pretty much it'll be available to everybody. So I was very worried about that, especially if there was a solo queue like thing,
Oh.
and I was just solo queuing one day, and then I'm getting paired up with one of them. Luckily, they said the artifacts will be disabled, and all artifact things will be disabled for trials. So that's really great.
I
That's
need
that
that.
damn new light I was worried about.
Oh, it's still gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem on the PC side.
The artifact.
Even though they're saying, for if they're allowing free players in, it's still gonna be a problem because that's where all the hackers are. You got a bunch of free people that can just download the game and be like, all right, cool, I can go hack this game now. But it's still gonna be an issue, even with their what is it? I think they're saying they're putting some kind of measures in for people that have to do something before you can play trials. But even still,
There might be God's way of telling you to come back to PlayStation.
yeah.
Maybe,
I enjoy
maybe.
my 144 frames.
Hopefully they can at least dedicate it to 60.
No,
So
it needs
that's
to
what
go
I'm hoping
higher than
for.
60. It needs
I
to
said
be at
it.
least one-
I said at least dedicate
Oh,
to
no.
60.
It needs to be
You
at
said
least
that-
120.
Damn! Look at these uppity ass motherfuckers in this chat.
It has to be. I
God
think
damn! They got the Cloud dude, the Cloud brother. God damn!
if you ever see
reason
it
why I
ran
said
on
they'll
20,
probably never do it like that is because most consoles run off TV. Like most people that buy consoles play on TV, and TVs aren't. Most people's TVs
But they
aren't,
ain't built like that.
aren't going to take advantage of that. So that's probably why they're not really going to worry about having you, I guess, be able to use as many frames per second as you could possibly use on the console. Probably just lock you at 60 and call it a day, because
That's what I'm
60 is
saying,
like
man.
the
Stop
grain
being
for
greedy,
console.
bro.
nah, it needs to be 120. If
Yeah.
Xbox can do it, then so can PlayStation.
I think my TV does support 120, but everybody ain't built like that, Terry.
It's fine. You'll understand.
I
how
said
great 120
dedicated,
is.
not
Nope.
that it's not enabled to be.
It needs to be enabled. Nope.
Oh my! All right,
The minimum is 120. Leave it at that. You'll understand the greatness of having 120.
So I guess we'll round this one out like we do all the time. What do you want to see in the next season? What's something that you feel like would really help set this thing off in the next season?
Ban
Season
hammer
of the
on
worthy.
PC. Being able to ban people that cheat on PC.
Oh, okay.
I don't care about the content at this point. Get the content. just learn how to ban people, Bungie.
If this is the focus on PvP, I'd like to see some other stuff addressed, like loadouts. I'd like to be able to have a loadout so that I can switch, on the fly if need be, as opposed to going and waiting for it to load for 15 seconds, then getting my stuff and then changing it. Oh, I'm in the middle. It takes so long.
Oh,
James,
shit,
do you
here it
understand what
goes.
they're talking about a menu taking 15 seconds to load here?
I don't, Terry.
These uppity ass cloud people and
Man,
master
15
race. I'm
seconds?
done with this, man.
Last I looked, there was like 3 or 4 seconds for me. Oh, I'm sorry, B. Continue.
Games next season.
Honestly, B's idea is actually a really good one. I would like to have like some armories or something. I mean, obviously to piggyback off DC terminology, but I would like some armories to where I could have some setups, whether it's just for my subclass or whether it's for like snipers, shotties, whatever. Like, or just to jump in PvP, like to not have to one by one change all my stuff around. Like, it's super annoying. I'm surprised they haven't put that in the game at all yet. But I do fear that they're going to do like DC did, give you one and make you pay for the others. So, but I would like to see armories. And my other thing, I guess my own personal thing, not piggybacking off B, would be I hope that they actually expand on the sundial. I hope they stick with it and actually flesh it out more and really explain like more of why you can't bring Cade back. That's what I want to know, damn it. Either sundial or I want to see more about the Gambit's not Gambit, the Drifter's backstory. Like that was hot when I was getting little sneak peeks into that, but then it kind of went away like everything else does.
And to piggyback off games, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm just hoping some of these random one-off cutscenes that we got are explored like in a much heavier capacity. If it's not gonna be a seasonal activity any longer because you don't want people to miss out, then I hope that's where they, channel the energies into, just to show us what's going on so that we don't have to go and read the lores or watch a Mylan Games video or a Bifear video just to figure out the fuck's going on. Well, gentlemen, this has been great.
That's it.
And yeah, that's why this is great. Everyone, thanks for tuning in to this director's cut this week at Bungie breakdown. We will catch you next time in the next Destiny 2 video. Like I tell you, there will be another one because there will be another one. I don't know when it will be or where it will be, but be certain there will be another one.
Very
With
definite.
that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. Be blessed, be easy. Peace.